This Wednesday, the culmination of the 2022 CONCACAF Champions League, the Seattle Sounders of Major League Soccer hosting Pumas of Liga MX. A great opportunity for an MLS team to win it. First leg ending 2-2, and now Seattle, the benchmark team in MLS, the team currently with the most success, that have won all sorts of competitions, and do it the right way against a Pumas team that's never won the CONCACAF Champions League. They're not a current blue blood in Mexico, although they were back in the day, and they have the most adorable uniforms ever with that Puma cub, or whatever it is. I say adorable, but I really love these jerseys. But it's cute, right? But it's got an incredible history, and it goes back to the 70s, and you see it. But they are not America or Monterrey or Tigres or who else? Cruz Azul. Those are the top teams in Mexico. So it's a perfect storm. It's a perfect circumstance for Major League Soccer to get over the hump, and they have to get over the hump. This has been a competition for me who work in Major League Soccer, and if I watched my team, LAFC, almost win it 2 years ago. And so many other MLS teams. I pull for the MLS teams. I said it in the first leg. Let's go Seattle Sounders. I got a lot of grief for that, but I'm sticking to it because, LAFC fans say we want to be the first, and Portland Timber fans say we want to be the first, and New York City FC, listen, forget about being the first. This is so important, and I'll tell you why here on the Soccer OG. Check out the Soccer OG podcast. Eric Winalda's back. Eric Winalda. We will discuss this game. We'll discuss the situation with Christian Pulisic, his dad sending a tweet telling the world that his son is not happy at Chelsea. And we'll also talk about if Jesse Marsch can stay up in the Premier League. It's going to be a tough job. It doesn't look good. It does not look good. Even though he's been great, certain circumstances. We'll talk about it. The Soccer OG podcast, where all podcasts are available. And like and subscribe here. So, I'll start with this. And Major League Soccer has a lot of issues. It has an issue with how it's viewed. And it's a punching bag for many people, right or wrong. So, I have those conversations with people. I say, what? They go, MLS stinks. I go, why? What don't you like? Have you watched the game? No, I don't have to. True story. This happens all the time. And I get it. It's like easy to make fun of. And it's because of this lack of success in this competition. There are a lot of things you can do to make Major League Soccer better. You can loosen up the salary cap so that you can really have super teams that are good from player 1 to player 15, right? Or 16. You could have promotion relegation. And that's something I wouldn't have said in the past, but I see it now. And you see this past weekend the importance of Everton beating Chelsea and how a team in 18th place can draw all the eyeballs on a weekend and how important it is. It's not going to happen, at least not anytime soon, but I'm a believer that if Major League Soccer wants to become a top league, it has to instill promotion relegation. That's something I didn't say in the past, but it's clear as day. And MLS is in a real dilemma with its media package because TV companies do not make money on MLS, so they don't want to overspend on it. Many don't want it. It's that simple. They're like, Fox and ESPN, I believe deep down are like, if we didn't have MLS, it wouldn't be, the worst thing. But it's important to invest because this league is going to get better. I always say, if the Premier League was 25 years old or La Liga was 25 years old, it wouldn't, be amongst the best product out there. And that's how old MLS is. You've got to be patient. It's going to blow up. It's getting a lot better. It's such a good product. Not across the board. There are too many teams and the quality dips. So there are a lot of things that you can do to make it bigger and better, big picture. By winning the CONCACAF Champions League, you can take a huge step in making the league better, perception-wise. Liga MX has kicked you around in this competition and in every competition. There's been a few successes recently. But by beating Liga MX, you get the attention of them, you get the attention of Americans who follow Liga MX here and all of a sudden might say, wow, this MLS league is getting better. Maybe I'll invest some time into that. You get to play in the Club World Cup. I know it's a tournament that's laughed at, but sometimes when Tigres made the final, you're like, or when these South American teams get close to beating the European teams, that is, people take notice. So of all the things you can do, this is seemingly the easiest thing for MLS to get some respect. So it is essential that Seattle Sounders win this game. They are obligated to win it because they are so close and they put themselves in the position because they are the best team in MLS right now and they're facing a Liga MX team that's not that great. Did a great job to get to this final, but that's the opponent you want, and we saw that in the first leg. Pumas winning 2-0. Seattle score a goal by Nico Lodero in the 77th. Then they get the goal in the 99th minute, which was absolute folly. I said, that never happens. It was so bizarre because the referee, Ivan Barton, I don't think I pronounced that correctly, called the penalty. They asked him to review it, which when you see him go to the VAR screen, he says he's going to reverse it. And he didn't. I believe it's like 80% of the time that the VAR official tells the lead official to go look at the screen, they reverse it. And he didn't. So it was just a crazy development. You're like, is this happening? We all hear that expression, getting CONCACAF. Well, Pumas got CONCACAF. MLS team did not. Now, so the table is set for Seattle to win this. And the writing was on the wall. So I sent this tweet back on February, I think the 25th. There is the tweet. And I said it with conviction. I've never said this before. I am guaranteeing an MLS team will win CCL in 2022. That's when there were, I think 8, if not, yeah, there was 8 teams left. And people are like, no, you're crazy. Eventually, I said it has to happen. But I looked at the teams that were remaining. It was a good crop of MLS teams. It wasn't a great crop of Liga MX teams. This was the year. New England falling to Pumas didn't help it. But we knew with Seattle, New York City FC would get a finalist. And here we are. It worked out well. So I'm sticking by that. I want to look good. And you better believe, if when Seattle wins it, I'm retweeting that. A little pat on the back never hurt nobody. That's what we're here for, right? To put ourselves over. But I'm going to retweet it. But I'm confident because I felt right about it back then. And I want people to know that I felt right. This is, let's talk about the tournament really quickly because it became the CONCACAF Champions League back in 2008. So 2008 to 2021, I think that's 14 finals. So 28 teams. An MLS team reached the final in 2020, LAFC. 2018, Toronto FC. Both those teams were this close to winning it. 2015, Montreal shocked everyone and made it. 2011, Real Salt Lake made it. In 2008, the first year in its new format, Saprissa of Costa Rica made it. So there is 5 teams. So I told you 14 finals, 28 teams. So of the 28 finalists, you have 5 that weren't Mexican and 23 teams that were, which means Mexican final, Monterrey, Tigres, America, Cruz Azul, Chivas, yada, yada, yada. It's like, you watch these finals, it's hard to get excited, whether it's CONCACAF Champions League, whether it's Copa Libertadores, whether it is UEFA Champions League, when you have 2 teams from the same country. Because you see it already in the league. You want to see international play. I mean, Liga MX, I'm sure they'd rather see a Liga MX MLS final. It's just more interesting because it's the unknown. But we never got that. We're getting it a little more frequently. By getting in 2018, 2020, and 2022, it means MLS teams have figured it out. There was a cavalcade of excuses for MLS teams, and you don't want to buy into those excuses too much. They were valid, but you can't lean into them. The timing of the tournament, it was in March. MLS season's just starting. MLS teams weren't ready. And, they would get bounced early. The tournament started a little differently this year, where MLS teams had a couple games under their belt. Clearly, it helped. So maybe there's some truth to that excuse. But regardless, you got to find a way. It wasn't fair, but you got to find a way. The other thing is, the salary cap of MLS can't compete with the rosters of Liga MX. But that's changing too. And there are certain teams that push it thanks to some apparatus by MLS where you can expand your roster a bit. And Seattle has done that. They have an incredible team, and they have enough depth when they're healthy. And they're healthy right now, which is another reason why it's all the signs are there. Everything's aligned for Seattle to win this. So the excuses are there, but they kind of went away. And MLS teams had success. New York City, Seattle, lesser degree Montreal, New England. New England had that bad game at the Olímpico Universitario, where Seattle played in the first leg. And this situation now is poised because it's important. And if MLS team wins it, I truly believe that that will open the door for MLS teams to win it again and again. This was another problem with the tournament. In its early years, 2008 to say 2015, teams knew that they probably couldn't win it, so they did not want to invest too much in it. So what would happen is MLS coaches, for self-preservation purposes, would have an MLS game on the weekend, CONCACAF Champions League in the midweek. They would put their best team in MLS because their owners and everyone else emphasized the league. Coaches wanted to keep their jobs, and they'd say, look, we made the CONCACAF Champions League, but we're not going to push it too hard. Hey, but I'm doing well in MLS. Maybe we catch a break with the reserves. That never happened. It happened all the time where you would see a reserve team from MLS going against a first team in Liga MX. Impossible to have any success. That changed more so this year and in the last couple years, where MLS said, we're going to go for it. If our teams suffer in MLS, so be it. Now, New York City FC and Seattle have suffered mightily in MLS, but they're feeling like, okay, the owners will be patient. We're going for this trophy, and we'll be able to make, this is where MLS is forgiving, right? And we'll be able to get back into good position by season's end after the Champions League is over. New York City FC is a perfect example here because they get knocked out by Seattle. Since then, they have won 3 games now that they're focusing on MLS, and they've scored 15 goals in those 3 games. But now they can get back in the running. They're the reigning MLS champs. They want to get back to the CONCACAF Champions League. Seattle is in like 11th place in the West, but they have 1 more game, and then they can focus on MLS. So it worked out. They'll make the playoffs. They're just too good. They may not finish first, but they'll make the playoffs, and they'll have to find a way to get back in the CONCACAF Champions League. So that's another new phenomenon where coaches are we're going for it. We're going for this. I'm sure they got a lot of pressure from the league because the league knows they have to win this. And as I said before, you beat this and you beat the Liga MX teams, perception changes in a big way. Has to happen first, and then it happens regularly. And then if MLS can ease up level or maybe a little bit ahead of Liga MX, game changer. Easy game changer. I shouldn't say easy, but game changer. It's a very interesting scenario. And Mexico and MLS, United States, Canada, look, if a Canadian team wins it, great, are going to continue to go head-to-head in various competitions. But this is the big competition. You have the Leagues Cup coming, but this is the big competition. You got to get it over. So, is Seattle obligated to win this? Yes, they are obligated to win this. If they don't win this, it is a massive failure. For them, more so for the league. That's a lot of pressure. Seattle's doing everything the right way. They got the second leg at home. They're going to set a CONCACAF Champions League final attendance record, 70,000 folks at Lumen Fields. It's going to be vibrant, and it's going to feel important. Seattle is healthy. Rui Diaz, Jordan Morris, Lodero, guys who were a little bit unhealthy are all there. Yeimar, the defender, hadn't played since March. He's healthy. They're back for Yeimar and Arriaga and Alex Roldan and Nuhu. Fantastic back four, Stefan Fry. Their front 6 with Lodero and Rusnak, João Paulo, Rui Diaz. It's perfect. Everything's fallen into place. They got a great 11. They'll have Pop off the bench. Freddie Montero, Kellen Rowe, Obed Vargas, perhaps. Everything is perfect. And I know the pressure is going to be there. But, as I said in my tweet, I am guaranteeing it. Seattle's going to win it. I think they are going to win it comfortably. I say they're up 2-1 in the second leg. Pumas have a couple chances. Seattle end up winning it 3-1. Clean set of heels. Lift the trophy. Thank goodness. MLS finally has a foundation stone. A big one. I can't wait for it. I want to see the 70,000 folks. We saw the promos by Marshawn Lynch. It was incredible. Marshawn Lynch is in, dropping F-bombs on promos for this game. Seattle's done a great job. I'm pulling for them. They're going to finish the job. They're going to finish the job. And we're pulling for them. I'm telling you, let's get it done for the league. Soccer OG here on YouTube. Check out the Soccer OG podcast.